My parents disowned me for more than 20 years because I was pregnant at 18, and now they want to make peace, but I'm not ready to let go. Here is why I'm hurt. I never imagined that after all these years, I'd still be grappling with the same feelings. I'm 42 now, and while I've built a life that I can be proud of, one where I'm happy and have a family that loves me, there's this lingering emptiness that I can't seem to shake off. My parents. The people who should have been there for me, who should have supported me when I needed them the most, were the same people who chose to walk away when I made one mistake at 18. Let me take you back. I was 18 when I found out I was pregnant. A decision I didn't make lightly, and a situation I certainly didn't foresee. But it was the reality I had to face. At that time, I was in college, still figuring out who I was and what my future might hold. I was scared, uncertain, and more than anything, I felt alone. I remember the day I told my parents like it was yesterday. I was shaking, dreading their response. I never once doubted that they'd be disappointed, but I still hoped, deep down, that they'd find a way to support me through it. What I didn't expect was the cold, immediate rejection. It was as if my life had just been reduced to a series of mistakes. They are devout Christians, deeply rooted in their faith. They told me that they couldn't support a pregnancy outside of wedlock, that it was a disgrace to our family and to God. Their words were harsh, devoid of the compassion I needed. My mother told me I was bringing shame upon them, that I had ruined my life. My father didn't say much, he just shut down. They disowned me. The family that had raised me, the ones I thought would always have my back, decided that I was no longer worthy of their love because of one momentary lapse in judgment. I was heartbroken. Not just for myself, but for the family I lost. In an instant, my parents turned their backs on me. They stopped answering my calls, stopped acknowledging me altogether. I was left to fend for myself, pregnant, alone, and scared. I had no one except Joe, my baby's father. He had always been there for me, even before the pregnancy, but now, he became my rock. We moved in together and began our lives as a family, just the three of us. For a while, it felt like the world was against me. But over time, I learned to live with it. I learned to build a life with Joe and our son, and I stopped waiting for my parents to come around. Years went by. And even though I carried the pain of that rejection with me, I didn't let it define me. I finished school, got a job, and raised my son the best way I knew how. Joe was always there, supporting me, loving me, and never once questioning my decision. We created our own family, one where love and understanding were the foundation. The only person who never completely abandoned me was my older brother, Noah. He and I have always been close, even though the rest of the family distanced themselves from me. Noah would occasionally check in, make sure I was okay, and ask about my son. He knew I didn't have a relationship with our parents, but he never stopped loving me. In fact, it was Noah who informed me about Mom's illness. I was shocked when I first heard the news. Mom had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and the doctors said she didn't have much time left. Noah told me that my parents were asking to make peace, that they wanted to reconcile before it was too late. He said that they were sorry for how they treated me, that they regretted everything that had happened. I wasn't sure how I felt. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to feel anything about it. The pain they caused me was still so fresh, even after all these years. They didn't just hurt me, they humiliated me, cast me out of the family, and left me to figure things out on my own when I was barely an adult. They expected me to forgive them just because my mom was sick? After 20 years. I picked up the phone several times when I saw their names on the caller ID, only to hang up immediately when I heard their voices. The anger still burned inside me. The hurt was too deep. I wasn't ready to forgive them, not after everything. They had rejected me at my lowest point, and now they wanted to come back into my life like nothing had happened. How could I just let that go? How could I act like their abandonment didn't leave scars on me? Joe, my husband, has always been the level-headed one. He's the one who tells me to let it go, to forgive them for the sake of my own peace of mind. He says that life is too short to hold on to grudges, that it's better to heal the wounds than to let them fester. I get where he's coming from, but it's not that simple. Forgiveness isn't something I can just give away. It's earned. And my parents never earned it. I've tried to make peace with the idea of forgiving them, of putting the past behind me. But every time I think about the years they took from me, the years I spent without a family, I feel that old bitterness rise up again. How could they just expect everything to be okay now? The scars run too deep, the memories too painful. I can't be the person they want me to be. I can't just forget what they did to me. They had their chance to support me, to be there for me when I needed them most, and they chose not to. Now that my mom is sick, it's too little, too late. Noah keeps telling me that I'm holding on to the past and that I need to forgive for my own peace. But I'm not sure I can. How do you forgive the people who shattered your world? How do you let go of the pain they caused you when every memory is a reminder of their betrayal? So here I am, stuck in the middle. My mom is dying, and my heart feels heavy. Part of me wants to be the better person, to forgive and let go of the past. But another part of me feels like I would be betraying myself if I did. The pain is too real. The scars are too deep. Maybe someday, I'll be able to forgive them. But right now, I can't. So I'm left with this question. Should I forgive my parents and let them back into my life after all these years of pain and betrayal? Or should I continue to keep my distance and protect myself from more hurt, even if that means never reconciling? What would you do in my shoes? Update. First of all, I want to sincerely thank everyone who took the time to share their advice, support, and love with me. I've been reading all your comments, and I can't express how much it has meant to me. Your words have helped me process so many feelings that I've kept buried for years. Thank you for showing me kindness and understanding. After much persuasion and pleading from my brother Noah, I finally decided to go see my parents. It wasn't an easy decision. I didn't know if I was ready, but I knew I couldn't keep avoiding this forever. When I arrived, the moment I stepped into the room and saw my mom, she started crying immediately. She rushed over to me and hugged me so tightly, as if she never wanted to let go, even though she wasn't strong enough to do so. I could feel her trembling, and it broke my heart. My dad, who had been standing quietly behind her, immediately took my hand in his and wouldn't let go. His grip was firm, almost desperate, like he was trying to make up for lost time. They both looked at me with regret in their eyes, regret for not being part of my life all these years. They asked for my forgiveness. They told me how sorry they were, how much they had missed me, and how much they regretted turning their backs on me. They pleaded for me to join them at home for dinner the next day, to finally try to reconnect as a family. I was overwhelmed by everything they said, but I told them I wasn't ready for that yet. I needed more time to process it all, but I promised my mom that I would always come visit her in the hospital as often as I could. She thanked me, and I could see a glimpse of hope in her eyes. My brother Noah was so happy, he couldn't stop crying. He's been longing for this moment for so long. It was so emotional to see him so relieved. It felt like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders too, not just mine. I could tell this meant the world to him. When I got back home, Joe was happy for the reunion. He was so supportive, happy to see me trying to move past the pain. But as soon as I walked through the door, I broke down. I cried for hours. Seeing my mom in that hospital bed, knowing her health was deteriorating, broke me in a way I didn't expect. That image of her, frail and vulnerable, will stay with me forever. A part of me wants to forgive them completely, to let go of the hurt and move forward as a family. But another part of me can't forget the years of pain, the hurt they caused by rejecting me at my lowest point. I love them, I always have, but I'm still struggling with the emotions, with the years of abandonment. So I'm left here, stuck between wanting to forgive and wanting to protect myself. What do I do now? Do I continue to visit her in the hospital and give them a chance to prove their sincerity? Or do I walk away, holding on to the pain of the past and never fully letting them back in? I don't have the answers yet, but I know I have to make peace with whatever decision I choose. Any advice would still be helpful, especially from those who've had to make difficult choices with family. Thanks again, everyone. Your support means the world to me.